Hi, my name is Neb Kamusin Atumre. I am also a member of the ancient mystic order of Melchizedek, which is called Uli El Albad in El's Quran 3:190, 5:100, 12:111, and 14:52, which literally translate as those first ones who passed through the door of the ancient mystic order of Zadok. The misinformed Euro-Indo-Desert Arabs translate this as men of understanding, proving once again their inability to interpret the allegorical portions of that scripture. They are jealous that the source, Anu, Alyun, Alyun El, should send down revelations unto whom he pleases, and to the slave of his preference, his choice, Muhammad, who was an Ishmaelite, a Nubian. So they provoked wrath after wrath upon themselves, and as for those who can conceal what they know are facts, there shall be a despicable, disgraceful pain. Lo, when you go back, it seems as if the descendants of Utnapishtim moved around. There were two migrations, the first migration and the second, which are referred to as the old and the new migrations. I should say there were three, because there is one older than these, but it is not registered. The first migration is when Seth moved into what is called Egypt today, originally called Tama-Ra, meaning land of Re. And the next migration was the so-called Old and the New Migration. The Old Migration was when Utnapishtim's sons moved over out of Asia as being Asiatic into what is called Africa today. So they moved in there and settled in the land. One of the sons, called Mizraim, became Egypt, which was originally called Tama-Ra. The Hebrews call it Mizraim in their Torah. The Christians call it Ahigutos in the Evangel, and the Muslims call it Masr in the Quran. It was a land inhabited by Nubians. Lo, of the rivers, a river flows out of the sight of the light in order to irrigate the enclosed garden of the light, or Eden. And from there it separates and became four rivers. The name of the first river is the White Nile, the Gihon. It is the one that surrounds the whole of the planet Earth. Ethiopia, the land of old Nubia, or Havilah, where there is gold. The gold of that part of the planet Earth is very rich also. In Nubia, there can be found gum resin, pearls, and also the onyx stone. The name of the second river is the Blue Nile, the Pishon. It is the same one that surrounds the whole planet Earth of the ancient Cushites, black skins, Kishites of Eridu. In the Sumerian land where the Anunnaki came down to earth. The name of the third is the Idigla, Tigris, meaning rapid stream. It is the one flowing eastward towards the land of the ancient Ashurites, meaning to widen. The fourth is the Puratu, Euphrates, meaning breaking off. Between these rivers did the ancient tribe of Kish, from the skies, later called Cush, migrated and settled. It is the same river that surrounds the whole part of the planet Earth before these rivers and streams flowed into the cracks and crevices of the dry land, whose surrounding source was called oceans. It was one land or water mass for the whole planet Earth. The same ancient Cushites became black-skinned or Kishites by the rusting of their blood. The body of the average adult contains 25 grams or 0.9 ounces of magnesium. However, the magnesium in the human body was lost, and today's scientists still don't know why. The magnesium molecule was lost from the melanin. It was then that iron took its place. When you mix iron with water and oxygen, it rusts. This rusting color is your brown skin tone, because now it is no longer magnesium that is dominant, but iron, which when mixed with water and oxygen, both elements essential to life, it is what turns your skin color brown instead of green. The original Supreme Being's skin tone was olive green. It is only now that the Supreme Being's skin tone is brown, the melanite children. So oxygen is not in connection with the other elements, which together create a harmonious environment. Sucking in or oxygen all the time is toxic to the system, believe it or not. It has certain radioactive isotopes in it, 14-0, 15-0, and 19-0. I may sound crazy. However, this knowledge clears up many oddities about our present biochemistry. The Nitiru, which is the Egyptian name for the Anunnaki, had an excellent balance of zinc, copper, magnesium, and iron in their bloodstreams. To have green skin, copper has to be in abundance in the blood. In other words, their blood had to be more like chlorophyll or even gold color. Yes, liquid gold. And that is what makes Nubians so special, Conan. We have varying degrees of that liquid gold flowing through our veins, and you know that. You are jealous because you die, Conan. We don't die, we simply give up the physical shell and return to an etheric existence, just like the gods who are on Nibiru right now. And this is why we are so attracted to Nibiru and not in panic mode as you are, Conan. Understand? So, by constantly inhaling and processing the toxic oxygen and especially carbon dioxide in the air as it is, you are killing yourself. You are accelerating your life force. Even though you may be burning bright, looking healthy, but you are aging more rapidly, we don't have enough zinc in our systems. And that is why our sisters labor so much in childbirth, because of the lack of zinc. I am not saying that the color brown isn't a beautiful color. It is. But it still lacks something, and that lack is the color green, that chromatophore, that green, that magnesium that gives you the chlorophyll base. So these Kishites were one of the 14 tribes of Anunnaki that came down from the planet ship Nibiru, which was launched from the 8th planet Rizqa of the 19th galaxy Elyun. When they arrived here, they set up the first kingdom of Eridu and the first temple called Obeid. The 14 tribes broke into two sets of 300. The disagreeable 300 called Anakites and the agreeable called Anunnaki, of the 7 tribes of the Anunnaki. Between the two rivers of the Idiglat, Tigris, and Furatu, Euphrates, was the original of Kish established. These two rivers of the Idiglat and the Furatu were also occupied by one of the 7 disagreeable Anakites. The original Kishites were later migrated north, then west through Ashkelon, known as Al-Kibulan, to join the other 7 agreeable Anunnaki, and on into Kemet, later changed to Mizraim, which is Egypt, where names did change and became Anu, the heavenly one. Re became El Ilo, where Nunam-Nir, the son of Anu, was his Sumerian name, and Enlil was his title when he came to the planet Earth. Then, even later, he was mistakenly called Usir. The Greeks called him Osiris, as did those of Babel, who called him Dumuzi. The original Keshite descendants migrated from the land of Kodesh, where in time they did mix with the seed of Utnapishtim, also called Noah, making Noah's genes perfect by the mixture of Alahum, that liquid gold blood, and Enoshite. Through Utnapishtim's son, Ham, Cush, the son of Ham, was born. This son was named after his Sumer descendant Kish, which is another name for Cush. Cush traveled with his brother Mizraim on foot, leaving the albino Canaan, who was born in the ship or the craft or the ark that hovered above the earth. Canaan, which is Yukonan, the barbarian, dwelt amongst the disagreeable. Cush, Mizraim on foot, crossed through Ashkelon. Mizraim settled in northeast. Foot moved for the west. Kish moved down southward to set up the land of Kish today, called Nubia, Sudan, and even Aksum, Ethiopia, the land of the Nubians. The Hebrews call it Cush in the Torah. The Christians call it Ahithiops in their Evangel, and the Muslims falsely call it Habashi in their commentary of their Qur'ans, which in actuality there was a Yemenese tribe called Habasha. Another son, Ham, lived in the area that became known as Sudan, Aswan, and another son, Phut, lived in an area that became known as Libya. And then they mixed with the Tunis called Tunisia today, and this is how that place was set up. The first settlers of Libya were the children of Phut and his wife Lib, which is where the name Libya derived from. These people occupied the land of northern Africa west of Egypt. The other Libyan people migrated from Egypt through Ludim and Lehabim. Traces of Phut's descendants are also found across the continent of Africa from Somalia to Senegal. Ludim and Lehabim had occupied parts of Egypt and the southwestern of Palestine as Hamitic people. The Ludim were dark brown-skinned, woolly-haired people constituted with the Ludim tribe are their brothers Lehabim. Lehabim means flaming. The Lehabim are considered one of Libya's most prominent tribes and is grouped with the Libyans who descended from Phut. They are close relatives of the ancient Egyptians and Cushites. The Ludim are another tribe of Libyan peoples who are descended from Phut and his confidante wife Lib. They were the ancient Nubian people, and they lived in North Africa west of Egypt in what is called Cyrenaica in Libya today. The Phoenicians and the Greeks eventually drove some of the Ludim into the desert and the mountains, where they remained and are now known as the desert Berbers or the Kabyles, which are Algerian Berbers. The Libyan were a warlike people who continuously tried to invade Tama-Ra. These people, along with the sea people such as the Philistines, joined forces to fight against the Pharaoh Merneptah, son of Ramesses II, and years later with the pharaohs Ramesses III. The Sea people are tribes who lived on the coast of the Mediterranean Sea. As the Romans and the Byzantines took over Libya, they intermixed with the original people, the primal Libyans. Therefore, the Libyans you see today are a result of invasions, slavery, and peaceful migrations. The mixture of Libyans with Greeks, Romans, and Persians explain the features of the Libyan people today. Their features lean more towards Sicilians, who are located in the southernmost part of Italy, and Cretans, who are inhabitants of the Greek island in the Mediterranean Sea. The Ludim and the Lihabim all constitute what we know as Libya today. As descendants of Ham, they are all Hamitic people, brothers of Shem, of Shem's descendants, who are Shemitic people, or Semitic, as the fake Euro Jews would say. Now the second son of Mizraim was Anamim, meaning men of the rock, or those who carved the great statues out of rock, such as Abu Simbel, an Egyptian pharaoh of the dynasty, and he was the builder of the pyramid. They were Aswanese. Now look again at this picture, which is on the thumbnail of this video. That is the whole side of a mountain that was carved Fubu, for us, by us, the Anamim. Those are not Hindu, Turks, Caucasians, Asians, or Gypsies features. Those are hardcore Nubian features. All of you fake Egyptians need to show us some of your colossal carvings, or just go back to the back of the line, you bunch of lying devils. And the third son was Lihabim, meaning those of the flames, who called his son Tuni. They became known as Tunisia. And the fourth son was Naphtuhim, which means those who lived by the border, which was named after his son Giria, where the great pharaoh Abimelech did rule and met the powers of El Elo, known to him as Atum, first incarnation of the deities. However, by Abraham's Dafur prayer, he was called Amun-Re, or Niu, called the ruler of heavens, often replaced by Atun, the deity of the sun, light, provider of life, known to Abraham as Alyun El, a name that was given to him by Melchizedek, one of the Elohim, and he, Abraham, did comply. And the fifth son was Patrusim, moved to the south and became known as Nubia, where there are great pyramids. And the sixth son, Kasluhim, set up borders and fortified the land. They lived together with the seventh son, whose name was Kaptorim, the youngest brother, who was the crowned ruler over the Philistines. They moved to Bethel and Parah to take the land of Avim in the land of Canaan. The Somalians, the Djiboutians, the Kenyans, all of these are descendants from the same one Ham, because the tribes intermingled with the Asiatic black man of Hindu descent, resulting in 25% of the nation changing their hair texture from 9 ether to vary from 8, 7, and 6 ether. They settled in this kingdom and did not worship Allah Ta'ala. They worshipped Hu, the creative force of will, an Egyptian deity. So Conan, this is not about your frivolous royalties. You can take that and shove it. This is about the ultimate ride of a lifetime, securing a seat on planet X, the 12th planet, the Rogue Star, the Death Star, or whatever other incidental, subjunctive, or subjective name you choose to call my ride, the planet ship Nibiru. So, as Parliament Funkadelic says, swing down, sweet chariot, stop and let me ride. Swing down, sweet chariot, stop and let me ride. Brothers were jamming about Nibiru back in the 70s and the 80s. Parliament Funkadelic, Bootsy Collins, and George Clinton pull it up. Thus ends today's video. We hope you have learned something from this video, and we urge you to share this video and to subscribe to the only channel where you will learn ancient Egyptian mysteries. No more lies, no more guesswork. So share, subscribe, click on the like button below, and see you at the next video. Swing down, sweet chariot, stop and let me ride. Swing down, sweet chariot, stop and let me ride. See you at the next video.